now we have Mr. Jubran Siddique, مؤسس ورئيس تنفيذي لشركة ذريعة للاستثمار الهند. Mr. Jubran, please, the mic is yours.
Is this me, Manish?
Excuse me. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Eminent guests, my dear delegates, and all the respected people in the dais, it's a pleasure to be amongst all of you here, to be able to speak on the 8th Doha Islamic Finance Conference, which is an achievement on its own to have the 8th continuous session for the last 8 years. The topic given to me today is to be able to talk on digital technology and Awqaf. Since I have only 15 minutes, I'll try my best to do maximum justice to the concept and to the topic which I feel can have maximum developments to the concept of Awqaf here in Qatar. To give you a small brief about the proceedings of the session, I'll be talking to you about the evolution of web, how the internet had evolved in the last 2.5 decades, what are the smart contracts and its relevance with Awqaf, how Awqaf can integrate multiple activities and increase revenue through blockchain technology, how Qatar can be the first country in the world to create the Awqaf of Awqafs through blockchain technology. I understand that there's been a tremendous day with a lot of information today, but I'll try to make sure that it's as interesting as possible. A little bit about myself. I'm Jubran Siddique, an ethical investment banker for the last 10 years. I've been certified in blockchain architecture, Hyperledger, RegTech, and blockchain as a service. Launched Zaria X DAO, which focuses on halal fintech services, and also we are currently looking forward to launch a halal neo-Islamic exchange or a banking service as a service platform. In regards with the concept, let's start with how the internet had evolved in the last 2.5 decades. I feel it's very important for all of us to understand the evolution of internet. This way you will understand where the internet is moving towards, or if you will understand where the technology is moving towards, and this will help you understand what sort of a technology we can adopt to help develop our country, to help develop many other platforms in this. As we all understand, the initial inception of internet was in the early 90s, where if you remember, there was the concept of AOL, where all we could do was only read in the internet, and we couldn't do anything else, all but just read the internet. That phase was somewhere between, I think, 95 to early 2000, that is till 2003. Eventually then came the next phase, that is the Web 2.0, wherein in Web 2.0 you could not only read, but you could not only write, but you could also edit and blog, where the big companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, or any other platform ruled the industry and became $1 billion, or some became $1 trillion companies as well. Now comes the next generation, which is, I would say, from the 2019-2018, which is the Web 3.0 era. It's something which we need to understand what is the Web 3.0 era. In the Web 3.0 era, you not only can read, you can not only write, you can not only edit, you can not only blog, but you can also own the network. What do you mean by ownership of network? It's something which is very fascinating. Just to give you a small example, I'm sure all of us use browsers, right? You must be using Google Chrome.
Can you slow down, because there is translation on the other side?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank
so just to help you understand what Web 3.0 will be all about, it will be something wherein, if you could see that we all use Google Chrome, if I'm not wrong, Safari, we use Mozilla Firefox, we use Microsoft Edge as well. These browsers, they collect our cookies, they collect our data, and they send it to third-party aggregators like Google, Instagram, and many other platforms, which generally earn revenue through your data. In Web 3.0, there is a concept called Brave OS, or a browser called Brave OS. Brave OS collects your data, they take it and they preserve it in a separate account, and they allow you to earn revenue for the data which you're giving to others. So if you're surfing the internet, if you're going through the internet and you're looking and just having a nice time for an entire day, you get paid for it on an hourly basis through cryptocurrency. Now this is ownership of the network. Now this is where the internet is moving towards. This is called the Web 3.0 era. Now, as I have spoken about the Web 3.0, we also need to understand the most important concept of Web 3.0 is the concept of decentralization. Web 3.0 sustains and grows on the decentralization model. Decentralization is the core fundamental of blockchain technology. Just to give you an example of what decentralization is in 30 seconds, I'm sure a lot of people have gone through about decentralization and blockchain. Must be some terms must not have been getting registered in your mind. In simple terms, decentralization is the conference which has happened today. In simple terms, the data, the amount of information which has been decentralized in the minds of all of you today is a simple example of decentralization. If we need to change the information which is given today, it's not possible unless and until I hack into all the minds of the people here who have become the blocks of the network. So this is the network, this is the data which has been decentralized into the platform. In simple terms, blockchain and decentralization is all about sharing information transparently in every block, and everyone can see it in an encrypted format. It's transparent and it's completely secure. Having spoken about blockchain, decentralization, and Web 3.0, let's talk about the most important factor of the Web 3.0, that is smart contracts. Smart contract is created between two parties. Both parties remain anonymous. It's encrypted in digital code. The contract is stored on a public ledger, which is accessible to all. Once it's in the blockchain, everyone can see it. The triggering events are integrated in the smart contract, something like the deadlines, the structure of the entity, or the way the diversification of the fund should happen. The contract self-executes as per the written codes. The regulators and the users can analyze all the activities in the smart contract or the network. Last but not least, prediction of the market, uncertainties, and trends can also be done. This, in simple terms, is how smart contracts work. Now let's go in relevance with smart contracts and how Awqaf can benefit out of it. I propose something which could be a little different when it comes to the Awqaf concept, but I propose an app to be created by the Awqaf which will help the users or which will help the public in the respective country. These are some key features of the Awqaf. In my limited understanding, or in the understanding which I have done in terms of the research of Awqaf, we feel that these are the 6 core important features of Awqaf which helps people to grow. The first feature is the source of funds. The second feature is the fund and donations. Third is the estate. Fourth is the beneficiary. Fifth is the type of waqf, and sixth is the administration. I'll give you a small elaboration on how a decentralized app can help Awqaf multiply its revenue 3 to 5x if executed properly. The first step will be to integrate the source into the app in terms of smart contracts through a proper KYC channel. The ledger will have KYC of every individual in the blockchain, which gives you complete security and transparency. That ledger, the KYC, can be integrated with the Qatari ID, or it can also be integrated with the passport and also with the legal compliance. So this way, a single data has been integrated between multiple ministries, between multiple resources, and it gives a single point contact for the Awqaf to grow. The next concept will be funding and donation. We can integrate Zakat Tech as a smart contract inside the Awqaf, the decentralized app, which will help people pay Zakat by their own, or it will get directed on their own based on the execution of the smart contract, which comes into the Sharia compliance norms. The second will be Sadaqah, third will be Fitra. What if the people can just press a notification button and they are able to pay Sadaqah for the necessities or for the requirements which the country has? Similarly with Fitra, the third aspect or the most important aspect of Awqaf is estate. Awqaf has a lot of endowments. How can you use the value of blockchain technology to develop the endowments and the estate? Firstly, the documentation of the estates is very difficult. You have to make sure the history of the documentations are known, litigations, issues, maintenance, compliance, legals, many other things can be integrated into the blockchain technology, which allows you to have a data of the particular endowment which is there in the blockchain itself. So this way, the government, even after 100 years, can know that this particular endowment in this particular region of the city is actually donated by so-and-so, and it was transferred by so many people in the family, for example. And most important factor, tokenization of assets. The most core important factor of blockchain technology is it can allow you to tokenize anything, provided you can back it by a stable token. In simple terms, if the Awqaf has assets and it has endowments, it can sell per square meter or even per square feet as a token and raise investments for development of land. Say, for example, I have donated the land to the Awqaf, but I did not donate it with the construction. The Awqaf can issue security tokens, or the Awqaf can issue random tokens, which will help them develop the property in terms of generating revenue in many other formats. The tokenization can be happening for rental, can happen to property development, can happen for property maintenance. It can also happen to acquire different properties in different parts of the world. Fourth, beneficiary. In the country which I come from, India, there is a lot of issue when it comes to compliance and inheritance. There's a lot of changes which happen eventually after the inheritance is given. What if the people who are using the app can be able to create the inheritance and the will integrated as a smart contract once the decease or the demise happens of the person? And once the death certificate is uploaded, the smart contract automatically disintegrates the properties into the Awqaf and automatically disintegrates the will based on his requirements, his necessities. Fifth, different types of Awqafs can be integrated into the same app itself. Awqaf are of different types. You can see Waqf Ahli, then you have Waqf al-Khairi, then you have Waqf Mushtarak and Waqf Awlad. These are some limited types of Awqafs which I understand about. These can be integrated as different smart contracts in the same app, and this will help the Awqaf have a centralized control in a decentralized manner and to help generate revenue in different formats as well. Last but not the least, most important factor, the same app can be integrated with multiple ministries, which helps them generate data, which helps them centralize the data and keep it secure, reduces the cost of the data management. It also increases the security. This will also help in human, social, economical, environmental development as well. And it will, if done right, in 3 to 5 years, it can increase the revenue of the Awqaf by 3 to 5x, which is something significant. Now let's come to an interesting concept, DAO. I'm sure many of you might know what a DAO is, but I feel this is going to be the future of Web 3.0. The previous gentleman here previously spoke about DAOs, but I wanted to help you understand the importance of a DAO and how serious a DAO can be in terms of growth. A DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization which runs completely on smart contracts. And it is created in the blockchain. Imagine you're creating a company in the blockchain which has access to all the countries in the world. Not only that, it has access to internet. Wherever there is internet, your company is established. This is a DAO. A DAO is going to be the future of Web 3.0. It runs completely on smart contracts. The smart contracts are established based on the necessity which is required, and the DAO works meticulously without any human error for the growth of the company in the blockchain network itself, which gives it complete security and transparency. Now coming to the most important part of my presentation, what if we can create an Awqaf of Awqafs? Now, the word Awqaf of Awqaf sounds big, but I feel it's very much doable and it's very much possible. The Awqaf of Awqafs, the idea came when I was making this presentation, that what if the Awqaf of Qatar can be the most supporting organization for the other Awqafs in the world which are struggling, in just by the click of a finger, just by an app. The second aspect of it will be, just to give you a small explanation, what if the Awqaf of Qatar can support all the other Awqafs of the world?
Brother Jubran, 1 minute remaining.
Help in global growth and development, position itself as the most digitally advanced social organization in the world, and own assets in developing countries and tokenize it and support it whenever it's required. Imagine there is a landslide or an earthquake in Nigeria, and the Awqaf of Qatar DAO can just transfer a certain amount of value and own the assets in different countries. This way, this can become the Awqaf of Awqafs, which could be the first of its kind and help the country grow abundantly, which in turn helps the concept of Awqaf, which is to help all and help everyone grow. Just to finish off my slide, how the structure of an Awqaf, that is Awqaf of Awqafs, can be. The Awqaf of Qatar creates a DAO, which is centrally regulated by a financial authority. Under that, you have multiple DAOs, which the Awqaf of Qatar owns. That is the DAO Awqaf of African countries, the DAO Awqaf of Asian countries, and the DAO Awqaf of MENA countries as well. So this is a rough outline about my presentation. I hope that you were able to relate to it and able to understand what I was speaking to you all about. I would like to appreciate the organizers once again for such a fabulous event and giving me an opportunity to speak to amongst all of you. You can always connect with me in LinkedIn. I'm always open for questions. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan.
Thank you, Brother Jubran, for the fantastic presentation with the fantastic PowerPoint.